So what we wanted to do today, we're Praxie. I'll talk a little bit about our platform. I'll try not to make this too salesy and just what we're learning about AI and how it works and how we're trying to adapt it. For those of you who don't know Praxie, Praxie comes from the Greek word praxis. It's translated in some of the Romance language. It's actually pronounced Praxie, but it means the practical application of knowledge. So what we're trying to do is find and share really practical ways where you can use technologies. We've embedded AI, large language models within our entire platform, and we're building out different use cases, and we're looking forward to sharing those with you today. So we're going to talk about how to generate KPIs and manage those using AI. So let me just walk through a few slides, and we'll give you a demonstration. So a little overview about Praxie. I come out of SAP, was there, sold my last company to SAP, and then ran their Internet of Things group for a while prior to starting Praxie. Praxie is an apps platform, an IoT platform for AI-powered digital transformation. And what that means is we build all kinds of applications. We've worked for with lots of different companies. I said my background was at SAP. What I found when I was at SAP was that every manufacturer I went into had some core applications, but they also had just tons and tons of stuff that was, in documents or lots of Excel sheets, et cetera. And if you have this situation, it's very hard to track KPIs. It's very hard to do digital transformation. And it's very difficult to have an AI strategy because you don't have a unified stack of data to work on, whether you're doing horizontal AI, which I'm going to show you today, which is going out and using large language model to look at best practices, or if you're doing what's called vertical AI, which is basically using your own data to try to find unique information, et cetera. All of that requires that you get digital. And so, digital transformation is the first step to AI transformation. So this is what I saw everywhere. What Praxie does is we help companies go from that picture I showed you up above to really continuous improvement and KPI command centers. We can do this in a matter of weeks, giving you full visibility, workflows, actions, all AI driven, coaching supported, and get you from this kind of thing you see up here to a beautifully laid out and digitized environment. And the reason we can do it very quick, and then I'll get on to KPIs, is we don't use a three-tier architecture, which is the traditional. We use an event-based architecture. I won't go into it. It's kind of nerdy, but bottom line, we can build stuff 10 times faster than traditional methods at a fraction of the cost, which is why it makes sense for you to get rid of all your Excel, because you can now be digital and you can do it fast and cheap, and we'll get you there. So that's the pitch part. Let's talk about KPIs. So just for KPIs, key performance indicators, measurable values that demonstrate how effectively a company is achieving key business objectives. So, what doesn't get measured doesn't get done. KPIs give a company the basis of that. So I'm going to do a few slides just on KPIs. For those of you who know all about this, I apologize, but I think it's useful. I'll talk about different frameworks, et cetera. They're used to evaluate the success of a business strategy or particular activity. What are you trying to achieve? How's it going is effectively the question. That's the KPI. How's it going against what you're trying to achieve? KPIs help you ensure everyone in the organization is working toward the same goal. So if you know what the KPI is and everybody's trying to achieve it, that aligns the team. They're essential for measuring the success of the business, and creating effective KPIs is a crucial process for any business. That's what we're going to talk about here today. Different frameworks for KPIs. KPIs, key performance indicators, is one, but there's a number of frameworks, and maybe you guys don't know all of these, but I'll walk you through them. OGSM, objectives, goals, strategies, and measures. This is a different method where you start with, and the wording here is different. I don't particularly love this one because strategy generally in the world I work in ends up at the top, but in this case, strategy is really a way you're going to go about achieving that. So what's the objective? What's the measurable goal? What's the strategy you're going to and how are you going to measure it? So that's OGSM. You have balanced scorecard, which looks to create KPIs in a balanced method across different areas of the business. Financial, customer, internal processes, and learning are the general areas in balanced scorecard. By the way, we have frameworks for all of these as part of our platform as well. I'll be showing you KPIs, but we have frameworks for all of these as well. Other popular KPI frameworks, OKRs, SMART, KPI trees. OKRs, objectives and key results. It's quite similar to KPIs. Goal setting framework focused on ambitious objectives and measurable results. SMART, specific, measurable, attainable, and relevant, time-bound. And honestly, whatever framework you're using, you should use a SMART methodology to build those KPIs. KPI trees are a hierarchical framework which cascades down to the organization. We support all of these, as I mentioned. So the types of KPIs, there are several types of KPIs. There'll be a layered approach where you have layer one might be your executive at a high level, and you can cascade it down. Those you might start with your overall company objectives, and you have short, mid, and long term often. And then you can go departmental by manufacturing, finance, operational, marketing, et cetera. Manufacturing KPIs measure things like your ability to make your product efficiently. KPIs in finance, performance, profit, ROI, margin, all the stuff that they talk about on Wall Street, and those are all financial KPIs that companies are measured by. Operational KPIs are generally efficiency, use of funds, things like that, and then customer-oriented marketing, et cetera, customer satisfaction, loyalty. And so one of the challenges that we dealt with, and the reason we put this together, is often when we're talking with clients and focus, the team doesn't have a lot of expertise in the KPIs that they should be generating. And so they're trying to understand what are the KPIs that are most effective for what I'm trying to do. So KPIs are relevant, measurable, and actionable. They should align with the company's or the strategic goals you're trying to achieve. They should be regularly reviewed. And as I said, sometimes it's difficult to know which ones they are. And so what we're going to do is talk about how KPI can help that. I mean, how AI can help that. And it was something that we were all talking about as we got that feedback from customers, like, what KPI should I be using around innovation? What KPI should I be using around product development, marketing, et cetera? And so that's what we're going to talk about here today. And we're going to show you right now a demonstration of an application we put together that can really help with that and help you deliver and understand your KPI. So I'm going to jump out of here and jump into Praxie. So this is the Praxie application for metrics and KPI assessment. So our team put this together, and just so you understand how this works, from an overview standpoint, we're going to provide the context for the department KPIs. So you'll go through a process of writing out what the contexts are. It will then view and edit the KPIs, and then take you through a process to manage those KPIs. And in our application environment, what we do is we build all of these processes into an AI engine that will go support it. So think of this as a form-based application that helps you define it with a Copilot or AI backbone that then will support everything you're trying to do. And we do that behind the scenes. You won't see that, but you'll see the outcome of it. So the first thing you want to do is go to the business context. And you can do product development, manufacturing, marketing, et cetera. And we're adding more of these all the time. And you'll see that in these, and sales here, we'll just go through them all. And what you're doing is you're putting in the description or direction of what's going on with your sales department, what the challenges are, what the future outlook and trends are. And so you're creating the context by which our prompting engine can work with the AI engine. And that's a lot of the work we do. If you went into ChatGPT or et cetera, you might spend an hour trying to get this right. We do all of that work behind the scenes so that the outcome is quite usable. And then you'll have your finance and accounting, where you're putting in, the information our department sees the financial health of the company, budgeting, et cetera, our challenges, stable cash flow, margin, whatever the issues are that you're trying to address. Same you might have in HR. So I'll jump back to manufacturing here. And then when you click this button, I won't do it because it takes 30 seconds or so, but basically that then generates in a list view or a Kanban view. There's the Kanban view or the list view. And you see it's tied to the area of the business. Now you can create multiple of these to do different tests, et cetera, but I'll jump in here to the manufacturing one. So when you click that, it generates this record based on the context that you entered, and I'll go full screen here so you guys can see it a little better. It basically generates the common or best practice KPIs based on the information you put in here. So it says, in this case, overall equipment effectiveness for manufacturing. The KPI measures, and it describes the KPI, the percentage of time equipment is available, performing, and producing quality output. Tracking OEE identifies. So this is all automatically generated by the large language model AI, and it identifies areas of improvement for machine uptime, product speed, control quality, et cetera. And then it gives you the mathematical calculation. OEE is availability equals availability rate times performance times quality rate. Now you can go do more research on how to build these. We actually have applications in our suite that will calculate your OEE, et cetera. Same. So let's look at first pass yield. So this is a quality KPI. And by the way, this is the first time I've read this. This was all put together by our team. The KPI indicates the percentage of units passing quality inspection on first attempt. High first pass yield signifies reduction in rework and scrap, leading toward cost savings and improved product efficiency. And then it gives you the calculation. Production lead time, machine downtime, production cost per unit. So you can see that it's generated a nice group of KPIs that you might want to work with. Now, you don't have to use all of these. You can use a few of these that you decide are the right ones. Now, down below, our tool gives you access to our KPI dashboard, and it's actually embedded in this product. But this link opens up an overview of our KPI performance application. So within the app, if you want to go use our application to track, you can do that. Now, the next thing it does is it generates an action plan. So now that I've looked at this, and I can delete some of these if I want, et cetera, but it'll generate an action plan. And what you see here is it's saying this is what you should do to go generate these KPIs. Implement environmental compliance, utilize Praxie's keyboard, et cetera, or KPI dashboards, integrate environmental monitoring with a dashboard, implement safety, control regular audits, establish sustainable reporting, et cetera. So it generates, based on the information above, a number of actions that you might take. And then what you can do is you can click this button, which actually generates a project plan here that you can then start to assign your team members to and set dates for. So if I go ahead and I hit this out here, you see that the dates go there, and I'll say this one is done, even though it's not, just so you'll see this. So then now what you've done is you've gone back to if we go back to, let me get out of here. If you go back to the assessment, we've got a manufacturing one, and that was just one of them. And within that manufacturing record are the key KPI recommendations, access to our tool, actions to implement that, and an actual project plan to go achieve that and assign your team. Now, within our product, and anything you're going to use, whether you use us or anybody else, you want to have a methodology to track and manage all the actions to execute this. One of the things that I often see is companies will generate a KPI in a BI tool, which is a great tool for charting. And then when they see a problem or something, they then write that down on note paper, et cetera. The great thing about this environment is all of your actions as an individual are tracked in one place. And as you assign them, your team gets notified. It's all part of the entire environment. So now that I've generated that, what you can do here is you can track and visualize the KPI. So I can now select one of the KPIs I might want to use. And then if I click this button, it'll go generate the KPI. Now that comes over here to our KPI dashboard. So I've built all my KPIs. Now in my KPI dashboard, I can generate my KPIs. Now, as I generate those, they will move the what the KPI is over here. Currently there's a little bit of manual work where you might want to enter the information, et cetera. But the KPI board basically allows you to define the metric. It shows how you're doing, what your level of achievement is, and assign somebody or a team of folks to own this KPI. They can track notes, attach files, and also track other actions they're taking to update and manage this KPI. So this gives you a full command center for all your KPIs. And then the last thing I'll show you here is just a master list of actions. So as I'm building out, let's go back to the manufacturing one. As I'm building out my plans here for tracking and updating all the actions, that master list of actions, I can now track everything that we're doing across all of those. So there's my manufacturing one, and it'll track all of the projects in a single place, and you can take this full screen so you can track all your actions across your entire team and all your KPIs in one place. So that's basically the process you go through. So again, what you do is you go and give the departmental context. You then view and edit your KPIs. You then generate your KPIs, and then you have your KPI dashboard for driving it. To me, what's really exciting about the use of AI in this context is that any one of these areas give the person who's trying to manage this on your team real expertise that they wouldn't necessarily have and would take them a lot longer to figure out. And this is a great use of how you can add value at the point of work for any individual user about how to use AI. So we're doing this across the board. So work instructions and air code management and best practices to deal with Gemba walks, et cetera. And AI, I think, is going to be a terrific help to the workers on the line and people who are trying to manage different areas of your business. Again, you can then go in here and generate all your other types of KPIs you'd like to follow. So that's an overview of how the system works and how KPIs can be used. I'll just jump back to the deck here for 1 second, and then we can close out with some questions. So again, what we're trying to do is get you to an AI-driven command center as quickly as possible and help you through that process. We use the large language models, but we also have coaching to help you do that. And then if anybody's interested in having further conversations about the overall platform to digitize their environment, happy to talk with you. So that's what we have for you today. Hopefully that was short and sweet and useful. But we'd also be happy to take 5 minutes here and answer any questions you have about AI, horizontal AI, vertical AI, models, what we're trying to do, and or any questions that might be applicable to what you guys are working on. So if you have any questions, just add them to the chat. One of the questions, came in. We will get you a copy of the deck and a link to the recording of this. And as I said, you guys can email me directly, or there's a link on our website that will connect you with one of our team members. Happy to follow up with you and get you any information about what you saw here today. So yeah, the recording will be available, and we will get you that. We'll probably put a summary of it on YouTube. There's a question here around that. We'll probably put a summary version of it on YouTube and show people how to use the KPI generation. Okay, so the approach, here's a question. The approach is technically clever and operationally sound. At the same time, it's a standalone, or does it take feeds from the business system? So it's a really good question, Paul. Currently, we're using what I heard this term a while ago. It's not my term. I just thought it's really valuable. Horizontal AI is reaching out to the large language models, looking for the best practices that exist on the internet. There's a secure method to do that. They don't use your data to do that. So we have the ability to do that without leaking your information into the large language model. But basically what we're doing in this example is using that large language model in horizontal, reaching out to the internet, saying, what's the best practice for KPIs with all these contexts? And then we do a bunch of prompting to make sure the answers come back solid, instead of you sitting there and doing 17 prompts on ChatGPT. So that's the horizontal method. The vertical method is really interesting. And I'll go back, if I go back one slide here, to our system. So as data comes in from your systems down here, your core applications, your legacy information, et cetera, MQTT, your machine data in our IoT platform, we can aggregate all that data, and then we can index it. What's interesting about that is that gives us a really interesting capability in what I would call vertical AI, which is your question, which is how do you use your internal data? So one of the biggest problems, those of you who are working on these problems, is data cleansing. So if you have New York City or NY or NYC or New York, those all mean the same things. But if in a traditional data warehouse, that's a real problem, and you go through all kinds of cleansing. In our environment, because we're using indexed search and contextual AI, AI understands the context and the meaning of what those are. So it eliminates a lot of the data cleansing, and we have the ability to do the vertical AI analysis much faster and cleaner. Currently, we're focused on the horizontal, but we're working on the vertical. It's not out yet, but absolutely, we think we have a really terrific platform for doing that. Copy of the deck. Yeah, we can put a copy of the deck. Have you configured use case transformation for metrics capturing? Have you configured a use case for transformation related to metrics capture and reporting? So we do lots of different metrics capture. I'm not sure I understand the question 100%, Chris, but happy to follow up offline. We do lots of metrics capture and manage different metrics as they come in, and we pull that data feed from, as you see here, multiple different data sources. Yes, we do. We actually have some partnerships with nursing organizations. We also do huddle boards and daily stand-ups for people. The question was, can this work for medical practices? So we do a lot of that kind of work. I would say for huddle boards and stand-ups and these kind of control centers and command centers, construction, I mean, our biggest vertical is manufacturing, but construction and medical are also use these types of technologies, and we do work there as well. If you might speak briefly at Praxie, the ability to assist change management to support this. Yeah, we have, Leslie, happy to go offline with you as well, but we also have a change management platform for managing and defining the different stakeholder groups, using user acceptance testing, all of that. We have workflows and applications for managing that as well. So happy to talk with any of you if you have further questions about these. But hopefully you guys found this useful, and happy to provide the deck as well as get you set up with a demo environment that you can play around with it as well. Risk management came in. Do we have, we do have some risk management models. We have one of the largest library of different application models that exists. So we have methodologies around risk management as well. So happy to show you those and provide some more data around that. Any other questions? Let's see, we did on time. We'll get you out about 5 or 7 minutes earlier. So somebody posted key takeaways. Okay, somebody posted an AI takeaway. That's interesting. Fantastic. Okay, so thank you guys. Platform is, somebody asked about cost. We can get you started for, you know, $20,000 up to, you know, much larger enterprise deals, depending on the configuration you need. So it's all modular. I'm happy to walk you through it and get you an overview. But our objective is to get you kind of ROI in just a few months. We really are cost efficient. The idea is to get everybody out of Excel sheets. So if we're going to do that, we have to do that in a way that's you know, financially sound as well. So looking forward to talking with you about that if you'd like. One question Paul said about building and action planning is the missing link. I'd love to talk with you as well, but maybe I missed the context. But our system has a complete project and action management in it. Maybe you mean different things, but if I didn't show that well enough, we do cover that. It covers assignments, notifications, weekly emails, tracking all actions across the board, and that's all part of your command center. Provide management input, digital transformation itself, and how it's going well. Yeah, the question was, do we have an AI solution to manage the digital transformation? Yeah, we do, and I'm happy to show you that. The way the system works is you define, it's not that dissimilar to any other sort of group of objectives, but you define it, you define those objectives as the digital transformation milestones, and then you manage to those objectives at the highest level. Wonderful. Thank you guys all for coming. And if you have further questions, please email me again, and happy to talk with you, and hopefully we can all help each other out, and appreciate your attention. Have a great rest of your day.